All beings are originally endowed with the seed of Buddhahood. They are simply obscured by delusion and have forgotten their true nature. This teaching emphasizes that all people have the potential for enlightenment. The Buddha taught that all beings are originally of the Buddha nature, and that they have simply forgotten their true nature due to delusion. Therefore, anyone can achieve enlightenment by overcoming delusion. This teaching teaches us the following. All people have the potential for enlightenment. Delusion is an obstacle to enlightenment. By overcoming delusion, we can achieve enlightenment. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that strives to overcome delusion and move towards enlightenment every day.
Compassion is the root of all virtues. This teaching emphasizes that compassion is the root of all virtues. The Buddha taught that compassion is the foundation of all virtues, and that practicing compassion is the way to cultivate all virtues. Compassion is the mind of loving and caring for others. Practicing compassion means serving others and sharing their suffering. By practicing compassion, we can cultivate the following virtues: love, the mind of loving and caring for others; compassion, the mind of sharing others' suffering; forgiveness, the mind of forgiving others' wrongdoings; empathy, the mind of understanding others' feelings; peace, the mind of living in harmony with others. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart, and live a life that practices compassion every day. The present moment is the most important. This teaching emphasizes the importance of being present. The Buddha taught that we should not dwell on the past or worry about the future, but should be present in the present moment. The past is already gone, and the future is not yet here. All we can do is be present in the present moment. By being present in the present moment, we can gain the following benefits: enjoy the happiness of the present moment, prevent future misfortunes, come closer to enlightenment. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart, and live a life that is present in the present moment every day.
Everything arises in dependence on conditions. This teaching emphasizes the law of dependent origination. The Buddha taught that all phenomena arise in relation to causes and conditions, and that nothing happens by chance. By understanding the law of dependent origination, we can gain the following benefits: understand the current situation, predict the future, live life better. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that understands and practices the law of dependent origination every day. Happiness comes from within. This teaching emphasizes that happiness is not determined by external conditions, but by the state of mind. The Buddha taught that happiness does not come from money, fame, or power, but from the mind that seeks peace and happiness. By understanding that happiness is determined by the state of mind, we can gain the following benefits: find the source of happiness, make efforts for happiness, live a better life. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart, and live a life that strives for happiness every day.
All beings are equal. This teaching emphasizes that all beings have equal dignity. The Buddha taught that all beings, regardless of gender, race, class, religion, or nationality, have equal dignity. By understanding that all beings are equal, we can gain the following benefits: overcome discrimination and prejudice, create a just society, create a better world. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that practices equality and justice every day.
All things are impermanent. This teaching emphasizes the impermanence of all phenomena. The Buddha taught that all phenomena are not eternal, but are constantly changing and passing away. By understanding that all things are impermanent, we can gain the following benefits. We can let go of attachment. We can be present in the present moment. We can come closer to enlightenment. The teaching of impermanence is one of the most important teachings in Buddhism. The teaching of impermanence can also help us to understand the nature of suffering. If you are struggling with attachment or suffering, the teaching of impermanence can be a source of great wisdom and guidance. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that realizes and practices impermanence every day.
All things are suffering. This teaching emphasizes the suffering of all phenomena. The Buddha taught that all phenomena contain the seeds of suffering and ultimately lead to suffering. By understanding that all things are suffering, we can gain the following benefits. We can understand the cause of suffering. We can overcome suffering. we can come closer to enlightenment. The teaching of suffering is another of the most important teachings in Buddhism. It is a reminder that everything in the world is impermanent and subject to change. This includes our bodies, our thoughts, our emotions, and even the world around us. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that realizes and practices suffering every day.
All things are not self. This teaching emphasizes the non-self nature of all phenomena. The Buddha taught that all phenomena arise in dependence on causes and conditions and do not have an inherent self. By understanding that all things are not self, we can gain the following benefits. We can let go of attachment. We can develop greater compassion and loving kindness. We can come closer to enlightenment. The teaching of not self is another of the most important teachings in Buddhism. It is a reminder that we are not separate from the world around us. We are all interconnected and interdependent. The teaching of not self can be difficult to accept, but it is also liberating. When we understand that we are not self, we can let go of attachment and fear. We can live more fully in the present moment and appreciate the beauty of all things, even the ones that are changing. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that realizes and practices not self every day.
All things arise in dependence on causes and conditions. This teaching emphasizes the interdependent nature of all phenomena. The Buddha taught that all phenomena arise in dependence on causes and conditions, and do not exist independently. By understanding that all things arise in dependence on causes and conditions, we can gain the following benefits. We can develop tolerance and understanding. We can create a better world. We can come closer to enlightenment. The teaching of dependent origination is another of the most important teachings in Buddhism. It is a reminder that we are all interconnected and interdependent. We are all part of a larger whole. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that realizes and practices dependent origination every day.
Nirvana is the state of extinction of all suffering and defilements. This teaching emphasizes the nature of nirvana. Nirvana is the state of extinction of all suffering and defilements. The Buddha taught that nirvana is the ultimate goal of all beings, and the culmination of enlightenment. By understanding that nirvana is the state of extinction of all suffering and defilements, we can gain the following benefits. We can escape suffering. We can escape defilements. We can come closer to enlightenment. The teaching of nirvana is another of the most important teachings in Buddhism. It is a reminder that there is a way to end suffering and achieve true happiness. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that realizes and practices nirvana every day. The middle way is avoiding all extremes. This teaching emphasizes the nature of the middle way. The middle way is avoiding all extremes. The Buddha taught that the middle way is the truth of all beings and the path to enlightenment. By understanding that the middle way is avoiding all extremes, we can gain the following benefits. We can live a balanced life. We can escape suffering. We can come closer to enlightenment. The teaching of the middle way is another of the most important teachings in Buddhism. It is a reminder that there is a way to live a balanced and harmonious life, even in the midst of the challenges of the world. If you are struggling with extremes in your life, the teaching of the middle way can be a source of great wisdom and guidance. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that realizes and practices the middle way every day.
The Eightfold Path is the path to enlightenment. This teaching emphasizes the nature of the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is the path to enlightenment. The Buddha taught that the Eightfold Path is the path that all beings should follow to achieve enlightenment. The Eightfold Path is as follows: right view, right understanding; right thought, right thinking; right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, right concentration. The Eightfold Path is based on the middle way. The Eightfold Path can help us to achieve the following benefits: come closer to enlightenment, escape suffering, live a happier and more fulfilling life. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that realizes and practices the Eightfold Path every day.
Compassion is love and kindness for all beings. This teaching emphasizes the nature of compassion. Compassion is love and kindness for all beings. The Buddha taught that compassion is the wish for all beings to be happy and free from suffering. Compassion can help us to achieve the following benefits: live a happier and more fulfilling life, better understand and empathize with others, create a better world. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart and live a life that is characterized by compassion every day.
Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment with awareness. This teaching emphasizes the nature of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment with awareness. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to overcoming suffering and achieving enlightenment. Mindfulness can help us to achieve the following benefits: overcome suffering, come closer to enlightenment, live a happier and more fulfilling life. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart, and live a life that is characterized by mindfulness every day.
All beings are equal. This teaching emphasizes the nature of equality. All beings are equal. The Buddha taught that all beings have the same essence, and that there is no reason to discriminate. By understanding that all beings are equal, we can achieve the following benefits: create a better world, live a happier and more fulfilling life. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart, and live a life that is characterized by equality every day. It is important to distinguish between good and evil. This teaching emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between good and evil. The Buddha taught that distinguishing between good and evil is an essential part of living a righteous life. By distinguishing between good and evil, we can achieve the following benefits: live a righteous life, reduce suffering, create a better world. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart, and live a life that is characterized by righteousness every day.
Love and compassion are helpful to all beings. This teaching emphasizes the importance of love and compassion. The Buddha taught that love and compassion are helpful to all beings. Love and compassion can help us to achieve the following benefits: live a happier and more fulfilling life, better understand and empathize with others, create a better world. I hope you will keep this teaching in your heart, and live a life that is characterized by love and compassion every day.
The past is gone, the future is not yet here, only the present moment is real. Therefore, live in the present moment. The past is gone and cannot be changed, and the future is uncertain. Therefore, it is important to focus on the present moment, and live our lives to the fullest. Living in the present moment means not dwelling on past mistakes, or worrying about future uncertainties. It means being fully present in the here and now. People who live in the present moment are not bound by the past or the future, and they can live freely. To live in the present moment, it is important to accept the present moment as it is. There are good things and bad things in the present moment, but we need to accept both the good and the bad as they are, and find meaning in them. It is also important to make an effort to enjoy the present moment. To enjoy the present moment, we need to love our lives, and be grateful for what we have. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today, and live a life that is present in the moment.
Be compassionate. Today, I will share with you the Buddha's teachings on compassion. The Buddha said, all beings suffer. Therefore, we should be compassionate and alleviate their suffering. All beings suffer, both physically and mentally. Therefore, we should be compassionate and alleviate their suffering. Compassion is the ability to feel another person's suffering as if it were our own. It is the desire to relieve that suffering. There are many ways to be compassionate. We can help others directly or indirectly. Direct help is providing material or emotional assistance to those in need. Indirect help is volunteering, donating, or raising awareness for those in need. Being compassionate is also beneficial for ourselves. When we are compassionate, we experience happiness and peace. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today and live a life of compassion. How to be compassionate. Here are some tips on how to be compassionate. Be aware of the suffering of others. Feel empathy for those who are suffering. Take action to alleviate the suffering of others. Even small acts of compassion can make a big difference. Cultivate wisdom. Today, I will share with you the Buddha's teachings on wisdom. The Buddha said, wisdom is the root of all liberation. Therefore, we should cultivate wisdom. Wisdom is the power that can liberate us from all suffering. When we cultivate wisdom, we can break through our ignorance and prejudices and see the truth. There are many ways to cultivate wisdom. Studying the scriptures, meditating, and seeking the guidance of a good teacher are just a few examples. Here are some tips on how to cultivate wisdom. Study the scriptures. The scriptures contain the teachings of the Buddha,
which can help us to understand the truth. Meditate. Meditation can help us to calm the mind and see things more clearly. Seek the guidance of a good teacher. A good teacher can help us to understand the scriptures and apply them to our lives. Even small acts of wisdom can make a big difference. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today and live a life of wisdom.
Cherish relationships. Today, I will share with you the Buddha's teachings on relationships. The Buddha said, relationships are very precious. If we do not cherish relationships, it is difficult to make good relationships. Relationships play a very important role in our lives. Through relationships, we can meet loved ones, make friends, learn and grow. To cherish relationships, it is important to first know the value of relationships and have a grateful heart. It is also important to be sincere when you make relationships, and to be considerate of the other person. Here are some tips on how to cherish relationships. Be aware of the value of relationships. Appreciate the people in your life, and the relationships you have with them. Be sincere when you make relationships. Be honest and genuine with the people you meet. Be considerate of the other person. Put the other person's needs before your own. Even small acts of kindness can make a big difference in a relationship. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today and live a life that cherishes relationships.
Have courage. The Buddha said, courage is the power that overcomes everything. If we have courage, we can do anything. Courage is the power to overcome difficult things. If we have courage, we can overcome fear and achieve our goals. To have courage, it is important to first acknowledge fear, and have the will to overcome it. It is also important to have confidence, and have a challenging attitude. Even small acts of courage can make a big difference. If we have courage, we can gain the following benefits. We can overcome difficulties and achieve our goals. We can have confidence. We can gain vitality in life. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today and live a life of courage. Live honestly. The Buddha said, lies are the root of all evil. If you live honestly, everything will work out well. Lies deceive people and disrupt society. On the other hand, honesty is the foundation of building trust between people, and making society a better place. To live honestly, it is important to be consistent in your words and actions. It is also important to admit your mistakes and apologize honestly. If you live honestly, you can gain the following benefits. You can build trust with people. You can gain peace of mind. You can live a happy life. Living honestly is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you live honestly, you build trust with others, gain peace of mind, and live a happier life. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today and live an honest life.
Control your anger. The Buddha said, anger is the poison of the mind. If you cannot control your anger, you will hurt yourself and others. Anger is like a poison that darkens our minds and clouds our judgment. If we cannot control our anger, we may do things we regret or hurt people around us. To control anger, it is important to first be aware of the cause of anger. We can also calm our anger by taking deep breaths or meditating. If we control our anger, we can gain the following benefits. We can achieve peace of mind. We can make wise judgments. We can form good relationships. Controlling anger is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When we control our anger, we achieve peace of mind, make wise judgments, and form good relationships. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today and live a life of controlling anger.
Let go of greed. The Buddha said, greed is the root of suffering. If you let go of greed, you can achieve peace of mind. Greed is like a devil's hand that darkens our minds and makes us insatiable. If we cannot let go of greed, we will constantly crave more and suffer. To let go of greed, it is important to first be aware of our own greed. We can also let go of greed by having a grateful heart for what we have and being content with the present. If we let go of greed, we can gain the following benefits. We can achieve peace of mind. We can experience true happiness. We can live a free life. Letting go of greed is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When we let go of greed, we achieve peace of mind, experience true happiness, and live a free life. I hope you will remember the Buddha's teachings today and live a life of letting go of greed.
How to open your heart. Here are some tips on how to open your heart. Be kind to others. Do small acts of kindness for others, even if you don't know them well. Listen to others. Take the time to listen to others' stories and experiences. Be open to new ideas. Be willing to learn about different cultures and perspectives. Be forgiving. Let go of anger and resentment towards others. Be grateful. Appreciate the good things in your life and in the world around you. Opening your heart is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you open your heart, you connect with others, learn and grow, and live a happier and more fulfilling life.
Find true happiness. The Buddha said, true happiness comes from within, not from external things. We often seek happiness from external things such as money, fame, power, and possessions. However, these things are impermanent and can only bring us temporary happiness. True happiness must be found within ourselves. Inner peace, freedom of mind, wisdom, and love are true happiness. To find inner happiness, we must first know our own minds. We need to observe and understand the thoughts and emotions that arise in our minds. We also need to learn how to control our minds and cultivate positive thoughts and emotions. When we find inner happiness, we can gain the following benefits. We can achieve lasting peace. We can experience true satisfaction. We can live a free life. I hope you will reflect on the Buddha's teachings today and live a life that seeks true happiness.
Take control of your mind. The Buddha said, the mind is the source of everything. Our lives are determined by our minds. If you think good things, you can live a good life, and if you think bad things, you can live a bad life. So it is important for us to take good care of our minds. If we take care of our minds, we can be the owners of our lives. There are many ways to control your mind. One of them is meditation. Meditation helps calm the mind and focus on the present. Another way is to observe. It is important to understand your thoughts and feelings while observing them. It is not easy to control your mind, but anyone can do it if you keep working hard. If we control our mind, we can live happier and freer lives.